What if there were no seasons on Earth? For many of us, the seasons tell us a lot, like what holiday is coming up or what delicious seasonal food there might be at the local grocery store. But what if there were no seasons, or only one season all year round? Well, guess what? Fact number 1. The Earth wouldn't be tilted. Let's look at this on a global scale. Our planet is divided into hemispheres, and each one gets a turn at being tilted toward the sun as the Earth spins on its axis. Without the tilt, there'd be some significant weather changes. Science says that cold weather would stretch outward and upward from the equator, creating two extremes of hot and cold. Everyone would probably move toward the locations near the equator, where it'd be warmest. This would cause overpopulation, the spread of diseases, and a lack of resources. Let's delve deeper. Fact number 2. There'd be a lack of food. As I mentioned, most regions would be cold and wintry. It would be very difficult to grow wheat, vegetables, or fruit. Animals, too, would move to those warm regions by the equator and would likely get overhunted. If enough food isn't grown to sustain the increased population, more on that later, everyone would become scavengers, squeezing out every last resource they could from the land. Fact number 3. Humans probably wouldn't have progressed. Let's change perspective a little bit and think about what it would have been like to have no seasons for primitive man. We all know how hard it can be to travel during wintertime, even in modern times. Humans probably wouldn't have met up with other humans much, and settlements would be scattered. If humans couldn't put their brains together, there are a lot of inventions that we wouldn't have today. We may never have learned to use tools. We may never have become industrialized or have basic technology. Fact number 4. We'd be way more susceptible to germs. Per my previous point, we probably wouldn't have advanced much in medicine, either. If everyone had to live all together near the equator, we'd be vulnerable to a lot of diseases, and not just from each other, but from insects too. Regions near the equator are usually warm and humid, the perfect breeding ground for pathogens that tropical bugs carry. The animals and livestock we'd be using for a food source would suffer too. Fact number 5. Agricultural problems. Let's look at this a little closer. There's a lot of rain in those tropical climates, which means there's a lot of shifting soil in the areas that farmers clear for growing crops. Rain can erode the soil, which pushes all the nutrients down below the root level, making that farmland at least partially infertile. Tropical regions can deal with this now because they generally have a low population density. If everyone tried to move in, there wouldn't be enough to go around. Who knows what people would resort to? Fact number 6. We need winter. Yeah, winter can be unpleasant, even dangerous. But if there were no seasons and everyone decided to escape the winter weather that would develop by moving in on the warmth of the equator, we'd be missing out on a lot of help. Winter protects us from those tropical insects and their diseases that I mentioned. Also, many crops that we rely on, like wheat, oats and barley, potatoes, and corn grow better in cooler climates that have a winter season. Fact number 7. We would have to relearn basic survival. Remember when I talked about the Earth's tilt? Without that tilt, in addition to not having seasons, the same areas of the Earth would get the same amount of sunlight almost all the time.